The Survivor reunion, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's a big bag of whatever, and sometimes it can make you question why. Why did this happen? Today we're going to look at 8 times the show made us go, why? Why did this happen? The reunion done screwed up. A little while back on my community tab, I asked for what iconic reunion moments you thought should be in this video. These moments are chosen from those comments, so go ahead and comment below another terrible reunion moment and I might include it in a future video. Number 1. This first one is a moment I've touched upon, but it's practically a running meme on the idled out YouTube channel since it is so awful and so cringe, especially given the context. In season 8 of Survivor, Boston Rob proposed to Amber. She said yes, it was super sweet, they went on to have 4 kids and are still married to this day. Amazing. Now, Boston Rob does play Survivor again, multiple times, but this time specifically on season 22, where he reaches the end of the game again. He hasn't done that since season 8, except this time he doesn't have anyone to propose to. So obviously, someone needs to do this deed, right? No, but that doesn't stop David Murphy from attempting it.
And I heard a rumor that I'd like to investigate quickly, that there is another love affair, that Survivor has blossomed yet another love affair. And typically at Tribal Council, I would just go digging until I found it. But since it's love, and love is tender and beautiful, David, why don't you just tell me about this? Is it true? Are you dating another Survivor?
I am. Not a current cast member. It's a former cast member. And
Carolina Eastwood from Token Cheese.
That's correct.
And how is the relationship going now?
You know, it's going very well. Things are going pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Wait a second. How well is it going?
It's going very well.
Really?
Yeah.
Like very well as in, gee, I'd like to maybe really make this official?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the good idea right now. Carolina, you are the most amazing woman that I've ever met. You challenge me.
Shut it down right now. Shut it down.
You drive me nuts, but at the end of the day, you've made me happier than I could ever ask to be. So will you marry me, please?
Survivor loves blindsiding me. Yes. Oh my God, yes. Oh God.
I feel so bad for Carolina. Amber's right there watching it, and at best, Carolina was probably expecting like a shout out about their relationship, not a marriage proposal. But what makes this moment even funnier for us, not for them, is how afterwards they break off their engagement because David cheats on Carolina with Alicia from season 24. Fun! Number 2. Season 15 is a good one. It's a season set in China, and frankly, I wish the whole season was filmed in proper HD and not just AI upscaled like I have done here. But regardless, Eric and Jamie kind of developed a cute little flirtmance on the show, and since it was just that and nothing more, and neither of them reached the end of the game, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, mind you, on the show, Eric stated he was a virgin by choice, clearly, since this dude is attractive. But at the reunion, that doesn't stop Jeff from asking.
So, Eric, on the show, it's very clear that you are a virgin. So it begs the question, Eric, dating Jamie, are you still a virgin? Of course.
What is there to say? Well, it works out for Eric and Jamie since they do get married. So now the answer is no, Jeff. Are you happy? Are you happy? The answer is now no. Weirdly enough, that may not even be the worst moment of this reunion, but I will save that for the next video. With that in mind, do you want to pick what videos I make? Then over on Patreon, you could do just that, which is now, by the way, free to join. And if you want to pick what I make and watch everything up to 6 months early, then consider signing up today. Link in the description. Now with that, number 3, Russell Hantz took Survivor by storm in seasons 19 and 20, and sure, he didn't win, but he came along and created a type of Survivor player that the show tried and failed to replicate because he was just that popular with a certain section of people. He was incapable of winning, and when he returned in season 22, he was embarrassed and his ego couldn't take it. Well, his nephew, Brandon, played on season 23, the season after Russell was embarrassed, and outshines Russell in the sense that, he could have actually won. Yeah, I know. But like his uncle, he loses it at the end. I guess it kind of runs in the family. So at the reunion, Jeff talks to Russell about his nephew Brandon, and
it was unfortunately not everybody's happy. Especially Russell. Nobody really accepted me the way that I wanted to.
Nobody
I just
from your
wanted
family?
Nobody from my family. I mean,
Is anybody here from your family?
No, sir. I don't think a lot of people are very proud of me, you know?
I think that he went out there to change something that I brought to the game. I made greatness. I brought the game to a level that is, you can't even comprehend.
What did Brandon do wrong?
Everything. He didn't do one thing right. He went out there to change the Hans name, to change what I did. How do you do that?
Russell can't pass up the opportunity to dunk on his nephew on live TV to pump up his own ego. Brandon is asked to play Survivor again about 6 months later and is clearly mentally broken by that point. I mean, Brandon snaps. I wonder if this reunion moment contributed to that at all. Number 4, season 30 saw Dan Foley, a mailman, be a loudmouth who loved to hear his own voice and make crude jokes, be an obvious villain on the show. As someone who claimed to be a super fan of Survivor like Dan did, he should have seen this edit coming. However, when he gets voted off in the episode that airs 1 week before the live finale, he goes off on every interview about how the edit portrayed him unfairly. So less than a week when the finale airs, we get the live reunion where Jeff comes in guns a-blazing. I'm gonna show you what I think the most important parts are, but keep in mind, this is heavily edited down.
Since you were voted out, you guys always do press, and you've been very vocal in the press that you did feel that you were misrepresented and some of your comments taken out of context and things like that. And I want you to feel heard. Do you still have that frustration overall?
I certainly do have that frustration.
The Shireen comment where you said, somebody slapped this woman, for the love of God, just slap her and shut her up already. What's your frustration with that?
My frustration is that, number one, I had no idea about Shireen's past. I would have never made that comment had I did.
Okay,
that
stop
comment
there, because number 2 doesn't exist.
If you let me finish, I'll tell you.
Okay.
The comment, how many times has anybody said, God, I could just kill this person? Do you go home and plot murder? No, it was an expression. I care about you. And right now, I am telling you from my heart, I'm sorry. I am genuinely, truly sorry. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I own up to my faults and I own up to my successes. That was a fault, and I'm sorry. I was wrong.
You said a lot in the press that was not positive about the show, and one of your big comments was when you called Rodney's mom, you said, yeah, your mother's a whore, right?
Yes.
I pulled that scene.
I'm sorry?
I pulled the raw footage of that scene. And I'm going to show this scene. This is very unusual, never shown. This is raw footage. This is one camera.
Throw me under the bus.
Just because you don't like the facts doesn't change the facts.
Oh, go to bed, Dan. Shut up. Nobody asked you. Go speaking the truth.
Yeah, your mother's up too.
I'm wondering if your intention is what's coming across. Do you have a prejudice against women?
I do not have a prejudice against women.
Well, and you know, I think it's fitting because you bravely wore a shirt on a night when you knew the topic was going to come up that says, let's get a shot of it because I know it doesn't mean anything, but it says male escort.
It's spelled male as in post office. It's
That's
a joke.
my point.
As I said before, I heavily edited that down. I encourage you to watch the whole thing as Jeff spends 8 out of 21 minutes the season 30 cast gets for their reunion on teaching Dan a lesson. And as Dan says under his breath, throw him under the bus. You may be thinking, okay, sure, but that was season 30, 2015. Surely Jeff wouldn't do this nowadays. Well, check out my Survivor 45 Secrets video to see Jeff rip Adam Klein's business a new one without ever saying his name. Yeah. Number 5, season 9 is flipping awesome. Once the literal earthquake happens in episode 5, it goes from being mediocre at best to becoming a masterpiece by the end. It starts slow, but finishes so strong. All that to say, I don't want to spoil the season if you haven't seen it. Just skip to number 6 in this video if you want to watch season 9 with a spoiler-free brain. I highly encourage it. Okay, if you're still here, let's move on. As we all saw, Chris Doherty saw the writing on the wall come the post-merge and decided, I'm going to BS literally everyone at every chance I get, and it works. It was amazing, a masterclass in BS. Well, one of the people he BS'd was Julie. Julie, who said on the show that she has a thing for Jeff, and apparently that Jeff had a thing for her because as soon as she's voted off, Jeff and her start dating. Yep, with that in mind, Jeff has an axe to grind with Chris. He embarrassed his girlfriend. He doesn't like that Chris won and that he fooled his lady. So for 21 out of the 34 minutes that they have at the season 9 reunion, Jeff talks to literally everyone he can to show how much of a BSer Chris is. Mind you, we usually spend like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes at the reunion on the winner, but they spend 21 out of 34 minutes basically trying to shame the guy. It just goes on and on. But the moment that perfectly encapsulates this is when he talks to Chris's fiance.
So you leave Vanuatu. You think we've lost the challenge. Chris told you in no uncertain terms, I'm going home.
Exactly.
You go home and think just that, right?
Yes.
And when he comes home, what does he tell you?
That he got voted on that night.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
So he let you believe that happened?
Yes.
So he's...
Yes.
So first of all, Chris just got outed for telling you something, but it was a lie. So he's going to say it's okay because that's his character. We already know that.
Right. Yes. I literally thought on Thanksgiving night that we were taking the red eye to New York.
So you could do your interviews.
Exactly.
The press. Right.
For the early show Friday morning.
Chris can lie to anyone. He's so good.
Number 6. Jumping ahead to season 25, Jeff is now married. No, not to Julie. They broke up somewhere around seasons 17 or 18. But does Dawson of season 25 care about Jeff being married? No, she's obsessed with him. And when he comes to their camp because a player is leaving because this player literally can't handle the harsh conditions anymore, so it's not like some joyous occasion, Dawson says, Jeff's coming to my camp. I want to jump his bones. Okay, hello. That very same episode, Dawson is voted off and she kisses Jeff without him knowing. I mean, she just jumps him. Jeff's taken aback, and why wouldn't he be? He had no idea until she jumped him that this was gonna happen. So at the reunion, Jeff tries to make light of this kiss and move on, and that's when...
And Dawson, I have to say, no one has ever... All right, she got it in. Fortunately, she doesn't kiss anywhere as good as my wife.
Girl is crazy. I bet Jeff has learned not to mess with crazy, or at least I hope Jeff learned not to mess with crazy. Number 7. It is a good thing Jerry Manthe redeemed herself in season 20 because had her journey ended at the season 8 reunion, it would have been a Survivor tragedy. Basically, Jerry is edited to be a villain in season 2 of the show, and part of that was because she annoyed her whole tribe constantly. I mean, fair enough. But they went hard on her, like harder than necessary. The fans mostly hated her after the season, so the show brought her back for season 8 where she showed, I'm a real human with real feelings, not just some character on a show. It was a welcome change of pace and she got screwed over by Boston Rob and Lex. But for some reason, all these years later after season 2, after people saw her be a better person on season 8, they still hated her. Why? Well, at the reunion, Jerry tries to express her frustration and...
This whole thing is making me so sick, okay?
You know what? We've got 2,000 unchecked survivors out there.
No, I've got to say something.
Say it.
This show is a show about entertainment. This entertainment is coming at a price. What it has cost us, our friendships, our feelings, our pain, our suffering.
Wait, Jerry.
Or entertainment.
Hang on. It's cost some of you friendships.
We all signed up for it voluntarily.
Colby. If there was any question about the authenticity of this show and the feelings that people have, if you can give us a big shot of all 18, we are now down to 17 because Jerry left during the break. Well, that's why she left. She made a comment and she got a very large response from the audience.
Yep, she just walked off and left right in the middle of the reunion during a commercial break. Why take the abuse from a bunch of adults acting like children? Well, a few days later, Survivor has a second reunion episode they call America's Tribal Council. Basically, it's just an excuse to hand $1 million to Rupert, and Jerry is indeed back, and she attempts to explain what happened.
I felt like this season, I opened myself up in a totally different way, and people were very responsive to that, and it seemed very positive, and so to get booed was just, it was horrifying, and I was overwhelmed with emotion, and I had to leave. I feel like I made my point the best way I knew how, and that was by not saying anything and just leaving. But I think a lot has happened since Sunday, and a lot of us have had time to sit down and have a couple of cocktails and get things out, and I think that there's a lot of healing that's taking place, and that was kind of the basis of my whole point, was that we do need the time and the space to heal and become friends again.
Number 8. The last live reunion was season 38. Now for the commenters who are about to try and correct that statement, season 39 was taped beforehand. But starting with season 41, the show moved to doing its reunion mere moments after eating the winning votes on the island, aka on day 26 of the game. They can't even wait like one day to give like everyone like a break. No live reunion month later, nothing. Why? Well, at the time for 41 and 42, they claimed because COVID ruined any live reunion happening in 2021. Fair enough. I mean, I could see the point, but they just kept doing it beyond those 2 seasons. And it can't be because of COVID anymore. Let's be real. It makes for a much worse reunion show that is laughably hard to watch. And aside from the reveal that Sammy is 19, which I almost included in this video, but I decided not to. You're welcome, people who are tired of that joke. I saw all of your comments about this change, and one in particular stood out about the Survivor 44 reunion in this moment.
I did not have the idol because I gave Kane my idol in anticipation for the knowledge is power.
Here's the part of the story that none of you know. Matthew planted that fake idol
Oh my God.
for you to find.
What? Oh
I didn't know that.
Where did he get it?
This is not a real idol. Had you played it.
So I ask you, what other terrible reunion moments should I include in the next video? Comment below and let me know. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you all next time.